Alright guys, so this is now the video on the heart, right? The animal transport system. We're going to look at, again, biology, so it's the structure, how it relates to the function, and again, a very big diagram with lots of labels to learn, okay? So we need a transport system in our body. We need blood to move around our body. The blood carries oxygen, nutrients, hormones, water, all sorts of things. So we need something to move it around, right? Which is why we have the heart, which is in a sense the pump, okay? It pumps the blood around our body, okay? It's sometimes called the circulatory system. Makes sense, it's circulating the blood, okay? So it composes of the heart, the blood vessels, which are your arteries. There's three main types: arteries, veins, capillaries, okay? And obviously the blood that's found inside. The arteries, right? Easy to remember because of the little a. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Okay, so anytime the blood is flowing away from the heart, that is an arteries. If the blood is coming back to the heart, that is now in your veins. Okay, they look different, they have a different structure because their function is different. Arteries away, veins towards the heart. Capillaries are the tiny little blood vessels that surround all your body cells. Okay, those are where the action takes place, where the oxygen is trying to get into your cells, glucose, all sorts of things. Okay, so you need to know the three: arteries, veins, and capillaries. Okay, and then like I said, we obviously now have the heart, which is the pump. First of all, you need to know it's a muscle, right? It's a giant big muscle, and all it does is pump blood through the body. Okay, you need to know that it's got four chambers, two atria at the top, two ventricles at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to show you the picture from your textbook because I think it's a great picture. That is the one that you can learn, and you can learn all the labels, right? And you need to make sure, again, you know those labels. Okay, so let me get that picture up. Right, so this is your heart, okay? It is, let me just make it a little bit smaller. Right, this is your heart, okay? Obviously, we've cut it open so you can see inside, right? These two little chambers at the top, this little one and this little one, are the atria. Your ventricles at the bottom are a lot bigger, okay? What you do need to really make sure you look at the label here. This side, which is the left side of your page, is actually the right side of your heart, okay? Because if I was to take that picture and turn it against my body, this side here, would be on the right side of my body, okay? So when you are labeling it, make sure if it's on the left side, you call it the right atrium, the right ventricle. If it's on the right side, it's the left and the left. Okay, if you are unsure, pick up your piece of paper, turn it around and put it against your chest. This would be the right, this would be the left, and then when you turn it back down, you'll see that they've swapped. It's a mirror image. Okay, so please make sure you get right and left side correct. Okay, so then like I said, you've got the two atrium at the top, 1, 2, and the ventricles at the bottom. Okay, you then have this big artery, this big blood vessel here called the aorta. Okay, the aorta is the vessel that takes the blood to your body, right? It is thick, it's big and thick because there's lots of pressure in it, because that blood has to get from your heart to your toes and to your head, all right? So the aorta is coming out of the left side of your heart, right? The pulmonary artery, anything to do with pulmonary, is lungs, right? So your pulmonary artery takes the blood to your lungs because it has to be oxygenated, right? So we're just going to look at the diagram, then I will explain the process of how the blood actually moves through it. Okay, so you've got your aorta on the left side, you've got the pulmonary artery on the right side. Coming into the heart here on the right side is the vena cava, right? The vena cava is bringing all of that blood that went down to your toes, it's bringing it back into your heart, okay? It brings it into the heart so it can get a little bit of pressure to then go to the lungs to be oxygenated, okay? So that is the vena cava. On this side, you've got the pulmonary vein. So if it's pulmonary, it's coming from the lungs, okay? So the pulmonary vein is bringing the blood. Now this blood has a nice lot of oxygen, okay? Coming into your heart, it's then going to get pumped to your body, right, to give it the oxygen. Okay, your left ventricle always has a thicker wall. Look at this thickness of this wall versus this wall, right? So your left ventricle has a nice thick wall so that it can get a lot of pressure to that blood. Because again, the blood from this left-hand side has to go to your toes. So it needs a lot of pressure. So you've got a nice thick wall, so as the heart squeezes, you push that blood with lots of pressure. Okay. In between, look at these little flaps. You've got 4 over here going into the vessels, and you've got those 2 on this side and those 2 on that side. Okay. These valves are to make sure the blood only flows one way in the heart, right? So they can open and close, and when they're closed, blood can't flow that way, it has to flow the other way. Okay, so the whole point of the valves is to ensure one-way flow of blood. Okay, to make sure that the blood is going the correct way. We don't want it going back and mixing, and that would be bad. So you need those valves, right, to make sure it's flowing in one direction. Okay, so this is your heart diagram. Again, you need to learn these labels, right? It's going to come up. You will get given a diagram, asked to label it, maybe asked what is the structure of A do, and they're pointing to the atrium. Okay, so you need to know this again. Print it out, stick it somewhere where you're always looking so that it's there and you see it. Okay, because you're going to have 3 diagrams. You've got the digestive system, the respiratory system, and the heart. Okay, those 3 diagrams you have to know. All of the labels, all of the organs. Okay, and that's just learning. Okay. All right. I think I will do another video about the actual circulatory system. So we'll end it there. Next video will be explaining how does the blood actually circulate in the heart.